And so today, it is with great honor to introduce my new boss for 2008.
Welcome to the 8th edition of Racing Infinity, as today we go back to the spring of 2008 at Richmond Raceway. However, there are a couple of different changes in this scenario than from what you remember in this race in real life. This is a timeline where Dale Earnhardt Jr. decided to sign on with Joe Gibbs instead of Rick Hendrick. So to give a little background, as I just said, Dale Earnhardt Jr. is with Joe Gibbs in this timeline. Now, many people believed that Joe Gibbs Racing would have stuck with Chevrolet. However, there's a good chance these discussions were in place before Dale Earnhardt Jr. would have signed on. Not to mention, with Toyota entering their second year in the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series, they could have used Dale Earnhardt Jr. as a major marketing tool for Toyota. Plus, being at a flagship team could be important to him after management challenges at DEI from the last couple of seasons. And even if Hendrick is the top Chevy team, they're splitting their resources among a lot of teams. With that being said, Dale Earnhardt Jr. is now driving the number 18 Amp Energy Mountain Dew Toyota for Joe Gibbs Racing, and here's what changes because of that. Over at Hendrick Motorsports, Casey Mears is still driving the number 25 National Guard Chevrolet for Hendrick, as he gets more opportunities in a solid ride, and Mark Martin moves over to the number 5 car a year earlier than in real life. This also marks a return to full-time racing for Martin, and he felt like that the opportunity to join Hendrick full-time was too good to pass up. Why do I say that? That is because Kyle Busch ends up at DEI. He takes over the number 8 car. Mars and M&M's still join up with Kyle Busch here, but just with a different team. So those are the notable changes that have taken place, and the reason for choosing Richmond was to mark an early point in the season to see how everyone is doing with all the changes taking place. Of course, in real life, this was the race known for the, quote, "oh, he turned him" moment. And at this point, Dale Jr. and Kyle Busch are both looking solid in their new rides. Dale Jr. earned a win in Atlanta, while Kyle Busch had won the week before this race at Talladega. And without further ado, let's get to the starting lineup for the 2008 Crown Royal presents the Dan Larry 400 at Richmond. Starting on the pole is the number 99 of Carl Edwards for Roush Fenway Racing, and starting second is Jeff Gordon in the 24. Dave Blaney with an impressive qualifying run. He will start in third in that 22 car, and Greg Biffle will start alongside him. 3 Roush Fenway cars qualify in the top 5 as Matt Kenseth will roll off in 5th, and Kyle Busch in the number 8 for DEI, he will start in 6th. Kevin Harvick will start in 7th, with Ryan Newman starting in 8th. Jeff Burton will start 9th, and David Reagan in that number 6 AAA Ford, he'll round out the top 10. Mark Martin will start 11th in that number 5 for Rick Hendrick, and alongside him is Martin Truex Jr. in the number 1 for DEI. Robbie Gordon put down a solid time in qualifying. He'll start in 13th, and Casey Kane will start in 14th. David Gilliland in that freecreditreport.com Ford will start 15th, and Dale Earnhardt Jr. starting 16th in the number 18. Clint Bowyer starting in 17th in the 07, and Casey Mears rolls off 18th. Reagan Smith will start in 19th in the 01, and Tony Stewart starts 20th. Starting 21st is the number 28 of Travis Quaffle, and Juan Pablo Montoya will start 22nd. David Ruderman will start 23rd in the number 44 UPS Toyota, and Jimmy Johnson will start 24th. Starting 25th is Paul Menard, and next to him is the 83 of Brian Vickers. Elliott Sadler will start in 27th, and the 66 of Scott Riggs will start 28th. Denny Hamlin will start in 29th, and Ken Schrader starts in 30th. Jamie McMurray will roll off in 31st in the 26th, and Joe Nemechek will start 32nd. Patrick Compartier will start 33rd, and Reed Sorensen starting 34th. Michael McDowell will start 35th in that Aaron's Dream Machine, and Sam Hornish Jr. rolls off in 36th. Getting close to the tail end of the field now, Michael Waltrip will start 37th, and A.J. Allmendinger will start 38th. Kurt Busch will start 39th. He'll have a lot of work to do. Sterling Marlin will start in 40th. And rounding out the field is J.J. Yaley in the 96, and Bobby Labonte driving for the King, Richard Petty. And here we go. Pace car dives down the pit road, and Carl Edwards and Jeff Gordon will lead the field of 42 cars to the green flag, and we're underway at Richmond. Carl Edwards is able to pull away with the lead, but check out Dave Blaney as he moves to second and gets around Jeff Gordon. Kevin Harvick is working his way up through the field too, as he takes third place from Matt Kenseth, and he's got his teammate Jeff Burton right behind him and looking to pass Kenseth as well. Matt Kenseth is off to a struggling start as he hangs on that outside line. You see Dale Jr. getting around him as he's already climbed into the top 10 here early. Eight laps in so far, and Robbie Gordon is currently holding his own as he sits in 8th, trying to hold off Greg Biffle behind him. The car ahead of him is Dale Earnhardt Jr. as he's beginning to distance himself from Robbie Gordon. Meanwhile, and speaking of which, Dale Earnhardt Jr. now getting past Jeff Gordon and Jeff Burton. Wow, he's got a pretty fast car as he's now in the top 5. He is off to a strong start. Just a bit up ahead, Kevin Harvick has now gotten around Dave Blaney for second as he's beginning to work on the leader, Carl Edwards. Battle for third rages on as Mark Martin is all over the back of Dave Blaney, but they have new competition now in the form of Dale Earnhardt Jr. in that number 18. Burton and Gordon are also starting to reel in those three as the action picks up here early. Martin gets to the inside of Blaney, and Blaney is about to get freight trained as Martin and Earnhardt go by for position. Now here comes Jeff Burton in his AT&T Chevrolet as he goes by 2, dropping Blaney to 6th. Greg Biffle moving past Jeff Gordon now for 7th place as Gordon is losing some momentum here. Here comes Kyle Busch now in that number 8 pedigree Chevrolet. He's been off to a solid start to the season as he gets around Gordon now for 8th. Back up front as Carl Edwards continues to lead, but he's got Kevin Harvick right behind him as they are reaching lap traffic now. We could see a lead change if Edwards slips up. He's got the 40 of Ken Schrader and the 09 of Sterling Marlin just ahead. And battle for the lead, Kevin Harvick is going to take the lead from Carl Edwards, coming off turn 2 as they continue to maneuver through lap traffic. Kevin Harvick in that Pennzoil Platinum Chevrolet as, oh, look at this, Carl Edwards diving to the inside of Kevin Harvick, trying to take the lead back. Harvick with some momentum on the backstretch, but how good is that going to be as they go into turns 3 and 4? Edwards moves back around Harvick, and he takes the lead as now he goes to work on the lap car of Ken Schrader. Dale Jr. now working his way around Mark Martin. That will move him to third as they both get around the lap car of Sterling Marlin. Back at it again. Harvick and Edwards are side by side down the backstretch as they're trying to get around the 96 of J.J. Yaley. Harvick will take the lead again as he hopes to hold off Carl Edwards this time. They're both about 2 seconds ahead of Dale Earnhardt Jr. and Mark Martin as they got some lap cars between third and second. Nearing the halfway point as we once again have a battle for the lead. And Carl Edwards takes it back from Kevin Harvick. Harvick may be winning these battles, but Edwards is winning the war right now between these two. Does Harvick have any way to outrun Carl Edwards? Not to mention that Dale Jr. and Mark Martin have some clear space. Let's see if they can catch the two leaders. Check this out. Harvick is going to use Bobby Labonte as an advantage, possibly, as he's looking for the lead once more, and he gets it. Harvick back to the front. And here we go again. Edwards exchanges places with Harvick again as we are seeing some classic short track racing here in Richmond tonight. Both drivers really wheeling it. Long green flag run so far, as now we're seeing the first round of green flag pit stops. Carl Edwards is the first one down. He's going to get 4 fresh tires and a tank of Sunoco fuel. I also see Greg Biffle down there, that number 16. Here comes Dale Jr. now down pit road. Great day for him so far, and what has been a great start to 2008 for him and his new team. He's going to get a wedge adjustment and some fresh tires and fuel, and he will be on his way. Kyle Busch now pitting, as he had the lead for a moment, making some adjustments as well, as he's had a solid day too. 65 laps are complete of the 120. We have now cycled through green flag pit stops as Carl Edwards now has some breathing room. He has a 2-second lead over Kevin Harvick, with Dale Jr. right behind him in third. Kyle Busch is a couple more seconds back and forth, with Tony Stewart in fifth. As you may notice with Carl Edwards working around lap traffic, that the 5 of Mark Martin is now way in the back and on threat to being lapped due to a speeding penalty on pit road. A tough break for Martin as he was in 4th before green flag pit stops. Battle for second going on as Kevin Harvick had a slip up with lap traffic, and Dale Earnhardt Jr. will move to second for the time being as they're both trying to get around all of these lapped cars. While Dale Earnhardt Jr. tries to roll down Carl Edwards, check this out. Clint Bowyer now reeling in Harvick, and he's going to go by his teammate to take third away. Clint Bowyer's car has really come to life here as he's going to get to the inside of Dale Earnhardt Jr. They come off turn 4, and Bowyer now moves to second as they're both trying to chase down Carl Edwards, who's still fighting through lap traffic as he leads. Nearing 20 laps to go here as Dale Jr.'s car is beginning to fall off a little as we see Kevin Harvick now, and Harvick will move to third, now behind his RCR teammate Clint Bowyer. Clint Bowyer has chased down Carl Edwards, and here we go. That 07 BB&T Chevrolet, he's going to get around that 99 car, and Clint Bowyer moves to the lead with about 15 laps to go here in Richmond. As Bowyer's trying to hold off Edwards, we see Dale Jr. now taking back third from Kevin Harvick as he now has his sights on Carl Edwards. 10 laps to go, and Carl Edwards is not backing down. He is still there in Bowyer's rear view mirror. Can Bowyer hang on, or will Edwards claim victory? Dale Jr. and Kevin Harvick are also there, but there might be too many lap cars this late in the going to catch Bowyer and Edwards. White flag is out for Clint Bowyer in the 07 as his car really came to life in the second half of this race, and it is definitely going to pay off. What a performance for Bowyer and his crew. A well-deserved win coming off turn 4. Clint Bowyer will win at Richmond. Carl Edwards gets second, Dale Earnhardt Jr. third, Kevin Harvick fourth, and Jeff Gordon rounding out the top 5 as we take a look at the final results. Tony Stewart, Jeff Burton, Kyle Busch, Jimmy Johnson, Greg Biffle rounding out the top 10 there. Going through the rest of the results now. Solid day for Travis Quaffle in 12th, Casey Mears in 15th. Dave Blaney, who was second there early in the race, ended up with 16th. That's where he will finish. Again, tough break for Mark Martin there. Could have used a caution to get himself back on the lead lap, but unfortunately, he will be stuck with a 21st place finish after looking really strong early in the race. Tough break for Kurt Busch. Wasn't able to get much going in a 26th place finish. As we see the rest of the results, I will note Robbie Gordon, who I pointed out at one point was running 8th, had a solid qualifying run. I thought there was a lot of potential for him to have a great day today, but unfortunately, he's going to finish in 40th. And look at this, Denny Hamlin, 42nd and 4 laps down. Rough days for those two guys especially. And that will wrap things up here at Richmond and another edition of Racing Infinity. And this is certainly an interesting timeline to look at, as around that time, Dale Earnhardt Jr. was a major free agent. And for him to join Joe Gibbs Racing, who knows what could have changed? Who knows what could have been different? What do you guys think? What do you guys think would have happened if Dale Earnhardt Jr. had gone to Joe Gibbs Racing? Feel free to comment down below. And with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching as always. I'm Gray Speed Productions, and I'll see you in the next video.